The story of Amityville begins with a house in a small town in New York, known as Amityville. The house, located at 112 Ocean Avenue, was built in the 1920s. It looked like any other large, old home, with its Dutch colonial architecture and large windows. But this house would become infamous for the terrifying events that took place inside it. In November 1974, the peaceful town of Amityville was shocked by a gruesome crime. Ronald DeFeo Jr., a 23-year-old man, murdered his entire family while they slept. He shot his parents and 4 siblings, one by one, as they lay in their beds. Ronald later claimed that he was driven to kill by voices in his head, telling him to commit the murders. He was arrested, tried, and convicted for the brutal killings. A year later, in December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz bought the house at a surprisingly low price. They moved in with their 3 children, excited to start a new chapter in their lives. They knew about the tragic events that had happened there, but they were not superstitious and believed they could make the house a happy home again. However, their excitement quickly turned into fear. From the moment they moved in, strange things began to happen. George, a former Marine, started waking up every night at 3:15 a.m., the exact time the DeFeo murders took place. The family would hear strange noises, like footsteps and banging, but when they checked, no one was there. The children's beds would move by themselves, and they saw strange, shadowy figures in the hallways. Kathy experienced the most terrifying events. She would feel as if she was being touched by invisible hands, and once, she even saw a demonic face in the fireplace. One night, she was lifted out of bed by an unseen force. The family dog would bark at nothing, and there were cold spots in certain areas of the house, even though the heating was on. The Lutz family tried to ignore these occurrences, thinking they might just be their imagination. But as the days passed, the situation became more and more unbearable. George's personality began to change. He became obsessed with the house, spending hours chopping wood to keep the fireplace going, even though the house was already warm. He became irritable and aggressive, which was unlike him. The children were frightened, and Kathy was desperate to leave. After just 28 days, the Lutz family fled the house, leaving behind all their belongings. They never returned, and they claimed that something evil was living in that house. Their story became famous when it was turned into a book, The Amityville Horror, which was later made into a movie. The book and movie portrayed the house as being haunted by malevolent spirits, possibly linked to the murders that had taken place there. Many people were skeptical of the Lutz family's story, believing it was a hoax to make money. However, the Lutzes always insisted that everything they experienced was real. Paranormal investigators who visited the house reported feeling uneasy and witnessing strange phenomena, but others found no evidence of anything supernatural. The house at 112 Ocean Avenue has since been sold several times, with the new owners claiming they have never experienced anything unusual. However, the story of the Amityville house remains one of the most famous and terrifying haunted house stories in America. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the tale of Amityville continues to capture the imagination of people around the world, leaving many to wonder if there really is something evil lurking within its walls.